The top stories. The U.S. says Barbados still has work to do on sex trafficking. 24 employees out of work as Carib Beach Bar changes hands. And the Kensington Oval prepares for its 50th test. Welcome to Nation News for Wednesday, June the 25th, 2014. Barbados still has work to do when it comes to forced labor, though it is making progress according to the American State Department, which has maintained the country's human trafficking rating for a third straight year. The new U.S. Trafficking in Persons report says Barbados remains a source and destination country for men, women and children subjected to sex trafficking and forced labor. It claims that evidence suggests there are foreign women forced into prostitution in Barbados. So, there is no change in Barbados' rating on the Tier 2 watch list. That's for countries whose governments are deemed not to fully comply with the minimum U.S. standards on trafficking in persons, but who are said to be making significant efforts to bring themselves into compliance. Barbados is going to make it as tough as possible for people to benefit from the proceeds of crime. Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite gave this commitment when he addressed a workshop for law enforcement officials and financial regulators at the Supreme Court complex on countering terrorism and its financing. He underscored the importance of training, saying that legislation aimed at countering crime would be ineffective unless people were trained to work with the systems that are set up. Carib Beach Bar at Irving has closed to allow new management to take over, putting the futures of 23 workers at risk. Owners Philomena and Colin Coles say they are $400,000 in debt, and that's forced them to sublet the bar to another company which wants to move in by Monday. Angry workers said they were told by the Coles that there was no money to pay severance or vacation benefits, and they would have to go to the National Insurance Office on Monday. It's graduation season, as you know, and at the Irving Wilson School, Scott Williams was feted as the lone graduate during the school's prize-giving ceremony. The 18-year-old was lauded as an obedient and focused student who would be missed dearly. He's been at the school since the age of 7. Principal Wendy Blackman encouraged Scott to continue to work hard and produce positive results. In turn, he thanked the teachers and ancillary staff at Irving Wilson for their support and left some words of advice to other students who received special awards. And at the century-old Society Primary School, the 13 students in the graduating class did a historic walk, the very last by such a class at the Society. Why? The school will close when the term ends next week for environmental and roster reasons. Society opened its doors in 1914 and has the distinction of being the oldest primary school in Barbados, at least for another week or so. So that walk from the school to nearby Messiah House for the graduation ceremony will hold some special memories for those students. Featured speaker Saul Leacock told the students that the kinds of seeds they sow today will determine their happiness tomorrow. He also spoke to them about the importance of believing in themselves. Sport now. All eyes might be glued to Brazil for the FIFA World Cup, but there's a cricket test match on in Barbados starting on Thursday. The West Indies are hosting New Zealand at Kensington Oval, the historic ground's 50th test. The first test at the venue was in 1930. Jamaica fast bowler Jerome Taylor, who has made a successful return to the game this season, reflects on playing at the Oval.
When you play at Kensington, the expectation is very high. You know what it is like playing here. We're looking forward to the game, and personally for myself, I've always enjoyed playing here. The atmosphere is good, and hopefully the crew can come out and support us and help us to pull across the line.
Both Taylor and his opening partner, the Barbadian Kemar Roach, both have 92 test wickets and would hope to spearhead the West Indies to victory in this, the third and final test. The series is tied 1-1. And you can get into Kensington for the first 2 days of the test for a £5. We'll see whether that makes any difference. Also on Thursday, and moving to netball, Blackman and Gollop and St. Giles will meet in the final of the Pine Hill Dairy Primary Schools competition at the Wilde Gymnasium. When the two teams met earlier at the opening rally, Blackman and Gollop edged St. Giles by 1 goal. So that sets up the final nicely, the two teams having dominated throughout the rounds. And finally, police in Minnesota have arrested a burglary suspect who apparently forgot to log out of Facebook after checking his profile during a break-in. I wonder why. The homeowner came back to his house and found that credit cards, cash, and a watch were missing. The thief had also left behind a pair of Nike tennis shoes, jeans, and a belt that he apparently discarded because it had been raining outside. He also left behind his information on James Woods' computer. World's dumbest criminal, Mr. Wood told local TV. Well, the rest is history. When the burglar, 26-year-old Nicholas Wigg, was arrested, he was wearing the homeowner's watch. That's Nation News for Wednesday. You can get your news your time, your way in our daily papers, on our website nationnews.com, as well as on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter.